Hey guys, Pitbull J here. Today we got a bay door. I've had to replace the brackets and stuff on it. I've already did most of that, but there's a tensioner spring up there. I've got it tensioned. The door goes up really easy. But the problem with that is once it gets up, it's a little bit hard to come down. So what I'm gonna be doing today is showing you basically how to go up and properly tension or untension these springs. And it's a very dangerous job, so you really have to watch what you're doing. But anyways, let's roll the door up where I can kind of show you what's going on with it. Got it unlatched. All right. Yeah. You see, it pretty much will went up on its own because I've got it tensioned good, it rolls good, everything's fixed. Problem is, when you go to pull it down, I have to really rock and pull on it really hard. And that's a problem. So, what we're gonna be doing is, I'm gonna take like a half a turn off the spring to where it'll still go up pretty easily, but you can pull it down without having to fight it. Mind you, this is a 1,200-pound door, and that's why you got them tension springs on it. See, I let go, and it pretty much will just goes up by itself. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it down. Give me just a second. Alright, once you get the door pulled all the way down, what you're gonna do is you're gonna latch it right there, and it's latched to where it can't come up, because when you go to tension or untension those cables or springs up there at the top, which you'll see a little closer once I get up the forklift, when you go to untension them or tension them, you have to lock this door down because it'll shoot up by itself. So, what I do is I take a big C-clamp. You can use anything that clamps. I take a C-clamp and I put it right here over this wheel. And we lock it down over that wheel. That way when I get up there and I go to tensioning or untension, either way, the door cannot move up at all to where it's putting me in harm's way. So, when I get up there, we'll come back and we'll go from there. So basically, what we have here, these are your tension bars. They go in these holes right here. But what we have to do is stick one in and get a half a turn and get the other rod back here to where it's propped against this door right here, and that's what holds it. Then I'll loosen this little red bolt and this little red bolt, and that lets go of the rod right here. Once I get that done, we'll untwist a half a turn. And I'm gonna do the same thing down there on that end for the other cable on the other side of the door. And once we get that done, we'll see if the door goes up by itself still or partially by itself, and it's a little easier to pull down. So, give me just a second. Let me get everything set. And these right here, if I'm not mistaken, is a 3/8 wrench. So, we're gonna get that out. And as you see, I work on bay doors a lot, so I keep a little box with all my bay door tools. Yes, that is a 3/8. So that 3/8 is going to fit on there perfect. Very important, do not loosen this bolt until you get this rod locked in place. So give me just a second. Let me get the rod twisted and locked in place to where you can see what I'm talking about. Now on these rods, you have a small skinny end, and you have a little fat end. These use the skinny end, as you see, and it just posts up in there. You see how long the bar is? That gives you plenty of leverage. So I'm gonna get it twisted around to where I need to get it twisted, to where it'll be locked in place. Just give me just a second, because I really ain't got nowhere to set my phone. I'm gonna pause it, and I'll come back once I get it set in place. Okay, as you see, I've got my bar locked against my door. I stuck a bar in right here first, just to lift it enough that I could get this one in and propped against the door, then take this one out of my way. And what you do is you just loosen these bolts up. I've already got them loosened before I went back to my video. Fairly easy to loosen. And that loosens it from this bar right here. That way I can let tension off of it, because it's too tight right now. I can't pull down on it, on the door. So what we're going to do is take a half a turn off of each end of the spring and see if that allows you to pull back down on the door just a little easier. So let me get this one done, and then we'll be back. All right, I took a half a turn off this one. As you see, the bolts are down at the bottom now. You have 4 holes around this. Each time you twist from the bar to come down to here, that's a quarter turn. So what I did was 2 quarter turns, a half a turn. Now I'm going to tighten these bolts back down. And once I get them tightened back down, I'm going to take my wrench, tighten them back down. Then I can go and put another bar in here and pry it just enough to get this bar out, and it'll hold on to that bar without unwinding. Hopefully that takes the tension off the door. So that one's done. Got the bars out. Got the red nuts tightened back down. So there's 2 of them. You always make sure you have a bar in this hole propped against the bay door right here before you loosen either one of those red bolts. If you do not do that, that spring will uncoil very, very fast. It could break your arm. It could hurt you pretty bad. So just make sure you take those steps and have that bar locked against this bay door right here, straight up and down in this bottom hole. Even if you have to take a secondary bar that you have and twist up just a little bit to get that hole right there straight down and stick your bar in it. Because once that bar is locked against the bay door, that's what holds it while you loosen these bolts. Then you just, one at a time, put your bar in and back off. Stick another bar in, back off. Then you tighten your red nuts back down, and you just took a half a turn off of your tensioner spring for your bay door. I'm gonna pause the video for a minute, move my forklift over to the other side, and we'll do that one. All right, we're up here on the other side, and as you can see, both of my bolts are on the bottom side. So if I'm gonna do a half a turn, that's gonna put the bolts on the top side. So I'm fixing to stick my pry bars in there, and what you have to do, see how this hole back here is kind of coming back. It's coming back behind this instead of in front of it for the bar to rest against it. So what you have to do is you take your first bar and stick in here and twist up just enough and hold that bar till you can stick your other bar straight in the bottom right here and lock it against the door. Once it's locked against the door, you proceed to loosen these 2 red bolts, back off with the bars, quarter turn at a time until you're back set for the half turn I'm taking off of it. As you see, I stuck a bar in this top one. I raised it enough that I could get that bar to go straight down against the bay door. As you see, it's against the bay door. So now, we'll just come back up here and loosen both these red springs. There's one around on the back side. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, see that red bolt right there on the back side? I'm fixing to have to loosen it too. So just give me a second and I'll be right back. As you can see, I've got these loose. Just hand loosened now. 3/8 wrench again. All you need for this job is the proper tools. You've got 2 breaker bars that are made for bay doors. There's 2 of them. I got the one that's in it, and then the other one here that we used up here to straighten it up. Now that I've got these loose, I'm gonna stick a pry bar in this one and go up just enough that I can pull this one right here out. And then we'll let this one down to the down position to where it locks against the door too. Then we'll stick another one in it and do the same thing, and that'll be our half turn since it's a quarter turn at a time. And as you see, I've took a half turn off. It's put both my bolts up here. And it don't really matter where they stop. You just want to keep both sides the same. I backed off a half turn on the other side, so I'm gonna do a half turn on this side. And hopefully that fixes the situation. Just make sure before you take that pry bar out right there, you tighten these back down. A little hard to do holding the camera and having to tighten them, but I'm trying to show you the process. You come back here, you do the same thing to this one. Alright, them are pretty tight. So now, if I can hold this, that one's probably just going to fall out the bottom. But I want to show you the principle of why you have 2 bars. See, that one's locked. Now once I let off this one, see how the bottom one fell out, but this one won't go all the way against the door because I tightened those red nuts down onto that bar right there. That's what holds your tension. Now, the job's done. I took a half turn off both ends of the springs. So we're going to get down, we're going to roll the door up, see if it rolls up okay, and see if we can pull it down a little easier. And that will consist of our video today. So let me get down real quick, and I'll be right back to see if the door works properly. All right, guys, got my forklift moved back down. We're going to unlatch our C-clamp. Went flying, but had to do it with one hand since I'm holding a video. All right. All right, we've unlatched that. So now, let me go over here to the middle, push up on the door, see if it's got enough tension to raise it still. See, now it's a little tight on going up, so I may have to actually tighten it back down 1/4 turn instead of the whole half turn that I let off of it. It goes up. Notice I had to fight it before. It went down fairly okay. Not really happy with how it's lifting. Let's pull it up and see. It's lifting good. It's definitely going down really good. Let's pull up again and push. I believe we've got it pretty much where we need it to have. Comes down okay, goes up. Almost shut on its own when it started. That's how you want a bait or a rope. And it lifts good. So maybe a half turn was enough. We're gonna leave it there. See if the guy that rents this place is happy with the way the door goes up and down now. And that's going to conclude our video for the day. Now remember, this is Pitbull J. Hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe. I always remember, watch Pitbull J videos. That's money saved, y'all. Until next time, peace out.